Hey, what is up y'all? Welcome back to another episode of Build With Me. In today's episode, we're going to be doing a little bit of city building because we have quite a few builds coming up where I need to, prepare an area to do the builds. For example, I'm definitely going to be working on a movie theater sometime soon. So in order to do that, I need to have some sort of space between the arcade and the actual movie theater itself to make it look visually appealing in my opinion. So here we go. This is our first building right here, and it's gonna be a bit of an apartment. In fact, all three of the buildings we're building today are gonna be apartments. That's because I just figured it'd be kind of nice to have some sort of living type things for people to have. I don't know. Well, then again, I say living or apartments for all three of the buildings, but one of them could be seen kind of like a hotel. I'm not really sure yet. It depends on how it turns out in the end, but it's fine. So as we can see here, to start off my building, we have been working on just a big solid block of brick. The reason I did a big solid block of brick was because I just find it easier to work with a single block rather than work with a huge variety of textures. The reason being is if I need to change the shape, I need to get rid of a lot of the textures that I spent a huge amount of time on and redo them again. In my opinion, that's not worth it. Just place down a big base layer to figure out the shape and then do the textures afterward to finally say, okay, I know the shape, I like this, and let's make it look pretty. So that's what I did here. Another thing I did was I made the entirety of the shape square, and then I started working off of that into I started taking off smaller chunks of it to make an interesting shape. Overall, this entire building is just a huge rectangle. It's nothing more than that. I just took out a little chunk of it to make it a little bit more interesting, and then right here, as you can see in the windows, I take out a little chunk of the wall and push it in a little. That adds a little bit of depth, and thus it makes the build look a little bit more interesting. Now, if you notice the way I'm building this, building, it's the shape. The shape is almost completely rectangular, if not squarish. In this case, it's rectangular. That's because in most modern builds, I think I've said this before in previous episodes, of course, but in most modern builds, a lot of buildings tend to be fairly simply shaped. And that's the best way to compact as many buildings as you can into a singular area and thus allow more people to fit in. And that's like the most important part about city planning. If you think, it depends on the era that you're in. If it's medieval, then you can go with more unique shapes, bigger shapes, less, efficient shapes. But if you're thinking more modern, you're more likely to think about efficiency. People want to place as many people as they can into a singular area to figure out, I don't know, what's the maximum amount of people that can go into this area. That's the kind of thought you gotta have when you're going into a build like this. Of course, this all depends on your personal preference. Your personal preference matters way more than anything else, in my opinion. Of course, if you want to make something look realistic, then you might have to abide by these kind of rules, but your creativity will probably outshine the actual realisticness of any kind of build. I personally am the type that prefers to see someone do something completely creative rather than completely accurate. Complete accuracy is cool, but this is Minecraft. It's a game. Sure, you can aim for those realistic standards, but I think it's cooler when you try to work towards your own creative ideas. Based off of that, like I said before, just like a few seconds ago, with the squarish buildings, you don't have to follow that rule. You can go for more creative and more unique shapes. Only issue is trying to figure out where to place those kind of things. But of course, once again, that's where your creativity comes in. So good luck with that. I always love to place random shapes into my builds, and I find it to be fun. I should probably get back to talking about what I'm doing now. As you can see, I'm placing another building directly next to the building I just created. One thing you might notice is that it is the complete opposite color of what I had just done. That is because it creates a more, I don't know how to say this, I guess like a more unique kind of look. It makes it more visually interesting. You can tell that they're separate buildings. It's kind of cool. I do this frequently. I don't like using the same block next to the same next to another building that is supposed to be a different building, if that makes sense. I want to make sure that people can distinguish between the two completely. Even in medieval builds, when I build a lot of them close together, I don't like using the same blocks. Even though it would kind of make sense due to the same amount of materials, I would still prefer to have a a more interesting color palette, if that makes sense. If any of the things I'm saying right now don't make sense, trust me, they probably don't make that much sense to me either. I got a good amount of sleep last night, but I am running low on energy. I don't know why. I probably should have given myself a little bit more time to rest before actually recording this, before recording my voiceover here. But it's fine. I can talk over this. This is what I truly am like, right? Let's see. Here I am planning out the third building because I'm trying to figure out the second building's entrance. And since I know I want the entrance to be in between the two buildings, I have to figure out both buildings' shapes and all that kind of stuff right now. So yeah, there we go. This is also another shining example of how I get distracted extremely easily. As you can tell, I've been hopping around this entire build a ton. I have not stuck to a singular build that much besides the actual brick house. After the brick house was done, I've been bouncing around a lot. For example, and I'm immediately back to this building right here doing some texturing. Yep. Yeah, I need to learn to stick to one build a little bit more, but I think this is the better way to build. If you keep your mind a little bit more active by doing multiple things rather than just one thing, I think you can get a lot more done and you'll feel a lot better about doing all those things. Here I am just figuring out some more of the shape, making sure I like it, and then backing up to figure out the blocks I want to use. At first, I wasn't sure exactly what color walls I wanted to have or exactly how high I wanted it to be, so I was looking around for some brighter colored blocks to maybe contrast this entire area completely. But I decided against that. I think I'm going to save that for later, when I'm doing some more fun builds. So here we are with a more, I guess, normal-looking building, I guess? Yeah, let's go with that. Don't mind the waterfall, that's pretty normal, I'm assuming. Yep, but we're mostly using stone for this one. Let's see, what else are we doing here? Besides the shape, just once again, just coming up with the shape. That's pretty much it right now. Right there, where that little box is hanging off the edge, that's just me thinking about the fact I want to add a little bit of an outdoor pool up top. Figured that'd be kind of cool looking, so yeah, why not? This final building was mostly me just trying to be as creative as I could be. So a lot of this might not make that much sense in the actual modern sense of the world, but it's my take on modern. There we go. Yeah, I don't really know what else to think about right now. Or what else to talk about right now? That's what I should be saying. There's not much going on that's different on this house than from the other houses. It's kind of the same process, just over and over again. Just in different ways, different looks. Here we go with a red wall. Once again, my take on the creativity. Yeah, there's not too much going on that's different, but it's just me looking at it and being like, okay, what can I do to make this my own? And, yep, here's our outdoor pool with a nice little patio type area that feeds into the waterfall down below. Yep, pretty unique if you ask me. I also decided to go ahead and add a little bit of a, what are these called? Like a like an umbrella. I can't think of the word. Like an umbrella, but in cloth form or something. I don't know. Yeah. I also decided to go ahead and go with a more boring roof, similar to the copper one I did below. I don't personally like doing a lot of these kind of roofs, but I will do them every now and then because they are the simple ones, and they tend to work on a lot of builds. I think it works. Here I am going with some texturing. Of course, not all texturing is like this. You can change up your variation type or make it more realistic with patches. I don't know. I just do my own type of, what do you call it? I just said the word. Shading, variation, I don't know. I do my own type of variation depending on the build. It's kind of fun. Figuring out windows, that's fun too. Yep. Okay, the build should be almost done soon. After all this is done, I do a little bit of building off camera, but that's only because I want to do a little bit of interior and such. Don't mind me. Or not interior, like exterior stuff. And also, right now, as you can see, I'm also placed down a bunch of signs telling myself exactly where I want to put more buildings. After that, that's it. So, Here's a quick preface to today's clip. Today I'm going to be showing a little bit of a little clip I took from Destiny 2, which I do play quite a bit of at least this past year. And this is just one of the clips I've had recently, which I thought was kind of fun. So, here we go.
3 lives left. Enemy team has no reserves left. Finish them. Double down.
Okay, as we see in this clip, you might not know, but if you have played Destiny before, this is one of the new exotics that was just added recently into the game. It is this, well, I'm not using it personally, but my friend Tommy, he saved my life with that shield. Basically, with this new exotic, he took his shield and threw it directly in front of me as I was about to be taken out by a singular bullet. That shield landed so perfectly that I actually thought I was dead before I realized I wasn't. He honestly carried me right there and then. So there we go. Little tip of the hat to him. Now that the little clip is out of the way, here we are in our outro. So here is the final completed build in all of its glory. As you can see, here we have the 3 different buildings with the 3 unique different styles that I decided to throw in. There may not be any back right now, but don't worry about it. There's going to be an alleyway that goes back there eventually. I'm going to figure it out as I go. This is just me figuring out what I want to do. Also, this sign right here. Leave some comments down below what I should put on the sign. I need something to build there. I don't know what to put up there, and yeah. Yeah, so this is the final build, and hope you all enjoyed it. If you like my build, hit the like button down below. Helps me out greatly. It makes me know that y'all like the video, and y'all want to see more of this stuff in the future. And of course, if you like my content in general, hit the subscribe button. I do a lot of stuff like this, and I'm going to continue doing more of this for who knows how long. And of course, last but not least, make sure to hit that little bell if you want to be notified exactly when I post so you can be one of the first people to watch my episode. Do that. Okay, anyways, thank you for watching. And watch as my little character punches you. I waves at you graciously. Besides that, have a good one.